Wolverhampton plus 475 at home, hosting BJ's Arsenal, top of the table for now. Here come Newcastle. Here come Leicester. Minus 188. Arsenal are the draws plus 320. Another one where I'm just going to pass because like you're tempted by the spot with Wolves because of the World Cup looming, but it does seem like, for this Arsenal team seems to all be on the same page and committed to the cause. So like the big squads, the big clubs with players going to the World Cup, they're the one that kind of worries me the least, if that makes sense. So I'm actually going to pass here and take my shots on the other dogs like Brentford and Southampton rather than Wolverhampton. BJ, what are your thoughts here on the Gunners?
Yeah, I agree, because if you look at the Arsenal squad right now, it's obviously a lot of guys where, okay, if you truly sat down and asked them and said, okay, what's more important right now? Like winning the World Cup or winning the Premier League with Arsenal? Like, honestly, like, I don't think Gabriel Jesus is going to start up top for Brazil. Like, if you ask Xhaka, like, truthfully, Switzerland's not going to win the World Cup. Ghana's probably going to get.
What are we doing here? This is the World Cup.
This is I understand it's the World Cup, but right now Arsenal is in the middle of a title race. Like they are going to take this match very seriously. It's one match, but very, very similarly to. And they're also going to know, like, whatever happens with City, like if they can actually be at the top of the table before the World Cup break. But I think very similarly with what we saw with Arteta, he's been doing a lot, is that when Arsenal goes ahead, they put on the handbrake. They don't necessarily control possession the way that City does, but they just sit in defensively and they're incredibly compact and very difficult to break down. So you're facing a Wolves team that shoots a ton from distance, that doesn't create a lot of big scoring chances, that can obviously threaten the Arsenal final third. But as we've talked about a ton of times, is that Wolves just has no finishers right now. Like they are bleeding with injuries. Like they have nobody up top.
2 goals last weekend.
A lot of positive regression, I guess. But Wolves is still averaging under 1 expected goal per match. Like Arsenal's the right now the second best defensive team in the Premier League. I like under 2.5 goals at plus 112. I really don't think it should be sitting at plus money. I think Arsenal's just going to put on the handbrake, similar to what City's going to do against Brentford if they go ahead 1-0 here. I think it's going to be a pretty low event type match. So give me under 2.5 goals at plus 112.
Anthony, anything here?
I joked last week. I said, like, Brighton are playing so much more aggressive. Like, both teams to score. Great look. Like, feels like Wolves, we're going to wait for the lineup. And then the lineup came out and it actually wasn't terrible. Wasn't good, but, like, they had some semblance of a striker with Hwang Hee-chan starting. I think he'll start again. Like, I thought he was actually pretty lively. And, I'm not going to sit here and say that Wolves attack is good, like I say every week when I talk about Wolves overs. But if you want to join me on the pain train, I'll likely be playing both teams to score here. I do think Wolves get on the board. I think Arsenal's a little flat. It's an overrated big 6 spot here. Arsenal away from home, a situation I'd look to play against them. We did it at Saints a couple weeks ago with the both teams to score. Going to do it again here. And if you want to join me on the pain train, we'll be losing 2-0 and we'll hit the post. I think Wolves will hit the post in this game. And then they'll create like 0.62 XG. 0.2 of that will come off of Ruben Neves pot shots from long range. But one of them will hit the post. And then I'll be like, damn.
What's funny is we talked about Arsenal like, oh, they're going to have their eyes on the World Cup here, right? And then Wolves is everybody on Wolves plays for Portugal, so it's
that is somewhat true.
It's like
I can't believe BJ just tried to say that the Arsenal players are more worried about an away day at Wolves than the World Cup in a week.
I mean, they're in the middle of a title race, Anthony.
You get up for the black.
We'll get up for this match, and then we'll go to the World Cup. Right?
I mean, I'm sure they'll be up for it. I think they're going to win. But
that was more my point. I wasn't going to try and say that they care about more than the World Cup. I was trying to make the point that they're going to be up for this more than like
basically
City or Liverpool.
BJ's doing a classic media tactic where he's trying to pump his team up through media.
Right. If it's a team I bet on, I think they're going to be super motivated this weekend. And if it's a team I bet against, I think they don't give a shit. Is basically what we're at here.
Yep. That's pretty much what we're doing.
Speaking of the World Cup,
welcome to Wonder Goal, the soccer betting podcast from the Action Network.
We rely on vibes and not data.